If there is only one movie you see this year about a train hijacked by domestic terrorists using government-trained gun-toting raccoons, make it this one. Probably because it's the only one. Look, if you're like me and you can't believe that the words government-trained gun-toting raccoons would ever be used in a sentence, well, here we are. Wes and Darling Beat take a ticket for this action spoof of the sequels to Speed and Under Siege in Killer Raccoons 2, Dark Christmas in the Dark, on View the Right Thing.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of View the Right Thing. I am Wes, and with me is Beat. Hi, Beat.
Hello, Wes.
How you doing?
I am living.
Yeah. Understood. Any new exciting updates since we watched Die Hard last?
No, nothing new, nothing exciting.
All right. Well, cool. Have you seen any new movie trailers or anything?
I have. I believe it's called The Woman King.
Oh yeah, that movie's been out for a while, but that's great that you saw the trailer for it. What'd you think?
I thought it was really good, and I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I will watch anything with Viola Davis. She's amazing.
Oh, same.
Yeah. Did you see it? I know this is a show, but did you see the show How to Get Away with Murder?
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Loved her in that.
She's so good.
Yeah. Any other trailers or just that one?
Just that one.
So I saw a trailer for Brendan Fraser's new movie. It's called The Whale. I'm really, really excited for that. It's an A24 film, so I really like that production company. And I think I saw another trailer, and I'm trying to remember what it is off the top of my head. But the Brendan Fraser one, like, he's gotten a lot of critical acclaim for, and they gave him like a 6-minute standing ovation at a film festival that it premiered at, and he like got all emotional as they're just like all standing there and just clapping for him and stuff. It's really sweet.
Aww,
he seems like he's such a like sweet dude. But yeah, that's the only one I can think of. I feel like there's another one, and I'm gonna kick myself because I can't remember what it was. I finally saw the trailer for Devotion, which Steve had mentioned a while back, and that's the movie with Jonathan Majors where he's like a fighter pilot. So saw that finally, and I think that's pretty much it. I know there's a Troll trailer out, but I didn't see it yet.
Did Devotion look good though when you seen it?
Yeah, Devotion looks good. I don't know. It didn't like super grab me, but I love Jonathan Majors. I like the era, and I think like fighter pilot movies are cool. But it didn't. Maybe I just didn't get enough of the story, or maybe I just feel like I've seen sort of the story before, where it's like he's like the best damn fighter pilot, but he's a black guy. He's not supposed to be able to fly with us, kind of a thing. And I'm just sort of like,
Yeah.
I feel like we've been there and done that, but it's a true story. So, that might help the feel of the movie not feel so, rote, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll definitely see it for sure. I love Jonathan Majors. He's great. Do you know who Jonathan Majors is?
No, I do not.
Did you see Lovecraft Country, the show?
I have not. No.
Oh, you would love that. It's like an eldritch horror kind of show. It was on HBO, I think, and it's an all black cast, and it's got like some really cool, horror vibes to it. I think you'd really dig it.
This is what I wanted to see. Yes.
It's really good. It's really good.
I just looked up a picture of it, and I love Journey.
Oh yeah, yeah. She's good in it too. Everybody's good in
Hmm.
it. Um, that reminds me that he's also in the new Creed movie, Creed 3, and and I really want to see that as well. That's a trailer I saw recently, but I don't know if we've talked about it on the podcast or not. Um, but I love those Rocky movies and Creed, and this new one is directed by Michael B. Jordan, so it's kind of cool that he's going to be acting and directing in it. So,
That's
and
pretty cool.
Jonathan Majors is basically the villain who he has to fight. So, and then of course, Marvel fans will know Jonathan Majors as he at the end of the universe, or at the end of time. I can't remember what they call him. But did you see the Loki TV series? Beat?
I seen some of it. I didn't see all of it.
Oh yeah,
But that entire statement you just made went right over my head. So
yeah,
that tells you a lot.
yeah. You have to get all the way through it, all the way to the end to like know what I'm talking about. But yeah, he basically. I don't want to like give too much away, but he's basically going to factor into the Marvel storyline. You know how like the first three phases, the 10 or 12 years of Marvel was sort of about Thanos, like the coming of Thanos and then having to fight Thanos. He's sort of the next version of Thanos. He's like the next big bad. So yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right. I don't have a ton else to banter about. I kind of want to just get into this. I think this is going to be pretty quick. There's not a lot to say. I have no facts, no behind the scenes facts for this movie, really. So it's going to be a real interesting one. You ready to talk about this movie?
Let's get into it.
So we watched Killer Raccoons 2, Dark Christmas in the Dark. It is a sequel to a film called Coon's Night of the Bandits of the Night. And that came out, I think it was straight to video in like 2005. And this movie came out a couple years ago in 2020. So, 15 years in between the original and this one. So I think they kind of saw that as like a cult classic or cult. I don't know if it's a horror film or what, but they're following it up with a lot of the cast, except for the main guy. And they make some nods to that in the film, that he's played by a different actor. So
the names are elegant.
Yeah. So the description on IMDb is a parody of Dark Siege and Speed 2 that will leave you with your jaw on the floor. Definitely a parody of Dark Siege. I don't know about Speed 2 so much because Speed 2 is on a boat, but I guess whatever. Beat, here's the question. Did you like this movie?
Absolutely not.
I kept checking how much time we had left. I remember the first time I checked, we were like 15 minutes into this movie. I was like, how much longer do we have to sit through this? And I was like, another hour and 15 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I am not a fan of dumb funny.
Yeah.
So I don't quite enjoy that. And this was like to a T, dumb funny.
What was bad? It was really bad. So there's a thing that I think we could talk about this. Like there's bad movies that are fun to watch. This is not one of those to me. I'm sure there are plenty of people who like this. This is no offense to the filmmakers. I'm sure they had a good time when they made this, but they spent like $50,000 on this movie and made $13,000. So, they wasted a ton of money and time. This didn't, I don't know what this did for them. A movie like The Room or like, Birdemic is probably even a better example of a man versus nature sort of horror film. Has similar type characters and similar type storyline, but what makes that movie fun is that it's not in on the joke. This movie from beginning to end is always like trying to wink at you, but it's like, people that don't really know how to wink, and so they just like kind of blink. This movie doesn't know how to wink. It's just like, I think I mentioned to you, like, make a note that they're asking for the laugh. And that's the thing, is they're constantly begging you to laugh at this movie. Like, here's a joke, here's a joke, here's a joke, here's a joke. Please laugh, please laugh. And none of it's really all that funny. There were a handful of moments that I was like, oh yeah, okay, that's clever. But for the most part, it's just kind of exhausting because being in on the joke sort of ruins the experience, I think. I don't know how you felt.
Yeah, no, it was beautiful. You worded it so well.
I'm trying to think of, like, even the moments that I thought were kind of clever. I remember there's one at the end where the woman on the crutches was like, God bless us, everyone. And I thought, okay, that's mildly funny, like a little Tiny Tim reference. I felt like there was something in the middle of the film where I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty funny. But like,
I liked the snakes on not snakes, but raccoons on this train.
Yeah, it was.
I'm always down for a Samuel L. joke.
Yeah, and it fits and it makes sense, and they have the black guy say it, and like the only black guy in this movie, right?
Yeah.
And the only like downside I have to that is it's just like such a dated thing, Even 2 years ago, it's like pretty dated. So I don't know. They just I just don't know what to say about it because I don't like being mean,
Yeah.
You know who the best actor in this movie was? Porn star Ron Jeremy. like the girl was actually pretty good too. I mean, like her.
Oh no, I like Double A. I love Double A. I thought he did a great job.
Yeah, he was all right. I liked the Twinkie thing. It brought back some Die Hard for me, some like Die Hard vibes, where the one of the only black guys in that movie is eating a Twinkie at Christmas. So I've got to think that's probably pretty intentional that they did that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the thing with the girl. What was her name? I'm trying to look it up right now.
Darlene?
Okay. Yeah, I was going to maybe say the actress's real name, but maybe she doesn't want anyone to know. Yeah, it's not coming up really quickly. So, the girl that played Darlene, I thought she was pretty good, especially early in the film. But they gave her such bad dialogue and bad people to perform off of that it made her feel a little bit wooden as well. But I think, I think I mentioned this to you pretty early on, where it's like, this feels like a good actress stuck in a bad situation. So,
yeah.
Do you have any notes?
You'd be surprised at the amount of notes that I have.
Really? Let's go through your notes then. Maybe that'll, I mean, we're like a whole 10 minutes into this podcast, so maybe that'll stretch this out a little.
So my first note is pen 15, first of all.
Okay.
The amount of sexual innuendos throughout the entire movie were just ridiculous. Yeah. This is not child safe, by the way.
No. And the thing with it is, though, is like, they just hit that pen 15 thing over and over and over and over again. And again, it kind of goes back to like asking for the laugh. It's like, just have the joke. Like, I was mildly amused when we first saw the spaceship, and I was like, is that a dick reference? And then we saw like the balls section of the ship, and then it said, I was like, does that say penis on it? And I'm like, oh, it's pen 15. Okay. But then it just like kept coming back and coming back and coming back and coming back and coming back. And it's just like, we get it.
Yeah. It could have just been like, this is your reference for the ship. Just know it's out there. You know, it didn't have to keep showing it over and over again.
Yeah. And like it's like when you repeat a joke over and over again, not just like a visual joke like that, but stuff like, oh yeah, I lost my virginity to her sister, blah blah blah. Like we kept hearing.
Whoa, you said that wrong.
What?
Her dead sister.
Her dead sister. Yeah, like over and over and over and over again. Thanks. You would think I would know it by now. And it's like, okay, that loses its luster after like once or twice. Like you can't keep going back to that well. You know, it's like people who think that they're really, really funny, but don't really understand comedy all that well. You know, like kind of like they're making some sort of like weird digs at the patriarchy and feminism.
Yes. Oh.
And I thought that was really, really strange for like a comedy movie that's like lampooning like kind of, you know, real bro type content, you know, like Under Siege. So I thought it was weird. Like they asked some question about, is it misogynist to say ladies first or something? And she's like, yes. And I'm like, no, it's not actually.
Yeah, and then like when she was like you're so patriarchy or whatever.
Yeah.
She kept saying it for like random things. I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
You don't know if you're joking or not.
Yeah. It was strange. Some strange choices. Okay, so what are some other notes you got there? Sorry, I went off on a tangent.
Well, one of them was Timmy is fucking nuts.
Timmy
is nuts. Talking about Timmy from this station in the bunker.
Oh yeah.
It was slamming the keyboard, like not slamming the keyboards, but slamming his hands on the keyboards. Like I'm pressing as many buttons as I can. I hated and loved that character so much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I think it was just because of how stupid it was.
Yeah. Yeah. You know who I really just hated the performance was the... Oh, wait. Are you talking about the woman?
Yeah. Timmy.
Oh, is that her name was Timmy? I thought her name was Tammy.
No, it's Timmy.
Timmy. I hated that. I hated that character so much. It was like she was doing like a bad SNL character. Just like...
It was horrible.
And the like thing she was doing with her face, I'm sorry, Hocus Pocus fans, but like that's exactly how I see that movie, that Hocus Pocus movie. Like Kathy Najimy, who I think is a brilliant actress, like just over the top with the dumb facial expressions. That's like, is that supposed to be funny on its own?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Horrible. But I loved it at the same time.
Okay, you know what? I'm glad you found some enjoyment in this.
I did. I hated it, but it still made me laugh a bunch.
Well,
I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it again, though.
I'll tell you what I liked the most, and if there was a cut of just these characters, I would be more inclined to like watch it on YouTube or something. And it's every time the goddamn raccoons came on screen, it fucking killed me. Because I thought they were going to be raccoon puppets, but they were just straight up taxidermied raccoons, and they made that stupid noise constantly. And I don't know why, but man, I got a kick out of that. So if somebody ever just made a cut of just the raccoons on this, I'd probably watch that.
And when he laughed, oh my god, that was so funny.
Yeah.
The purposeful laugh.
Yeah.
That's one of my notes.
The laugh.
Take it away. Yeah, the laugh. Just him laughing, like, but in the raccoon.
So, okay, hit me with some more notes.
The vape was literally killing me.
Yeah, well, how come?
Just, it was funny because when Aaron used to vape, like a while ago, and I felt like it was him because he would have that thing every 5 seconds.
Oh, wow.
And that's why I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I just kind of cringe at vape in media just in general. I don't mind it so much when it's like, for some reason, if it's like a teen girl, like a high school girl is vaping, and it just sort of like I feel like in Euphoria we see that, right? Like there's the vape girl on Euphoria.
Yeah.
And it like seems like it fits there, but then when you see like an adult doing it in media, I'm just sort of like, come on, like if you have them smoke, just have them smoke. You know, what's the point of this? Okay. Anyways, go ahead, continue on.
I found it hilarious when they were in the bunker and they were like, turn it to a crazy status, code crazy status.
Oh yeah, Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
I thought the part about forget the 9/11 train.
Oh my God. And they kept saying it over and over and over again.
I forget. And I was like, there's so much going on right now because the background is very important because they're trying to make this joke stick. And then there's also dialogue going on of like over top of that.
Yeah. Just
I did
no,
like the
no
ticket
understand.
guy.
The ticket guy was fine. Yeah. It
I
just
felt like he was the greatest actor in this.
okay. If you say so.
Sorry to interrupt this awkward moment, but you want your tickets?
I didn't really like. I got the Casey Smallwood joke at the beginning, and it was like, again, kind of clever at first, because it was like Casey Smallwood. I used to be Ty Smallwood, but I changed my name. And, you know, the joke being that you think he changed Smallwood, and he changed his first name, and that's kind of funny on its own, right? But then they just kept saying it over and over again. I was like, well, why? Why not just leave it where it was? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the joke in itself was hilarious, but yeah, just the overexerting it is what killed it.
Yeah. All right.
Like after he left Shane's, that's when it should have ended.
Yeah. Right. All right. What's next?
I also loved the fake fight. I know
At
it's
the
so weird
end?
to say. Yes, with the waffle irons.
The pans and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
And them announcing that they're dead for real.
Yeah. Dead for real. I kind of thought was pretty good. I didn't love the fight. I can understand why somebody would like the fight. I feel like I think because I've seen it done so well in other parody movies, like stuff like Robin Hood Men in Tights and Airplane and stuff like that, you know, like that's people that are pretty competent with not just comedy, but filmmaking techniques and stuff. Like I noticed that when they like sort of switched sides when they were fighting, one guy kind of covered up the other guy, so you couldn't really see what he was doing when he was hitting him. So I don't know. I was just, and I think I was exasperated by that point. Like I was beyond ready for the movie to be done. So I was just kind of like, okay, I don't want to see this long drawn out thing. I just want to be done with this thing.
Yeah, the fight lasted forever.
Yeah.
And my last two notes are hilarious joke, tiny bullets and the tiny machine guns for the tiny raccoons.
Yes. Okay. I'm with you on that one. I'm with you on that one for sure.
I ate that up. When he was like, oh, he shot, and then he came in the back, he was like, what are you even talking about?
Yeah. I'm not sure if I can call this being shot.
And then when she got shot in the leg. Okay, all right. After that joke, it was really funny because in the end she was on crutches.
Yeah.
But if you looked at her injury on the train, it was a tiny cut.
Yeah. Yeah.
From the bullet.
Yeah, the superimposing of like wounds and gunfire and stuff was pretty epic in this. So oh, what's that? Mm-hmm. No, what were you gonna say?
What were you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say, so you didn't know who Ron Jeremy was when I mentioned who it was, and you were like, "Who is that?"
We're literally about to say the same thing. I was like, General Apathy.
Oh yeah. So General Apathy is played by Ron Jeremy, who I think is a scumbag. Yeah, I mean, you see that guy and you're like, what? This guy is a scumbag? But yeah, I think he's a scumbag. So I looked up some stuff. I don't really know a ton about him, so you know, I might get something wrong here. Viewsters, my sources might not be great, but he I know his nickname was the Hedgehog. I'm assuming that's about his penis. I don't really know. I think I've never seen a Ron Jeremy movie, so I don't know. I know somebody who met him in a club once, and they said it was really, really gross and it was like all over them. But my understanding is he's been in over 800 porn films.
800?
Yeah.
Jeez.
So he's gotten around. started, I guess, so according to IMDb, he started in 1979. But I think what makes him like kind of gross is there was a court case where like 21 or 22 women came forward and talked about how he used sort of his status as like his celebrity to lure women, and then he raped them. So
Ew.
yeah, not a good dude. And for some reason I thought maybe he had died, but I don't. No, it doesn't show a death date, so I guess he's still alive. He's in his 60s, so cool, good for him. But yeah, so that's Ron Jeremy. Aren't you glad you know that now?
No, but gross.
This thing says he was in Debbie Does Dallas 2. So there you go, folks. If you want to see some Ron Jeremy, he's a gross looking guy. Like he's not an attractive man. Like that dick has to be huge because there's nothing appealing about him visually.
I just did a double take of what you just said. I was like, what? What? Yeah. Yeah, most men, if they look like that in the industry.
Well, how do you know?
I mean...
Silence.
I mean...
Okay.
People know.
You don't
okay?
have to expose yourself. It's fine. It's fine.
It's perfectly normal, people. Don't let anybody tell you differently.
What, watching porn?
Yes.
Kids, you watch all the porn you want. Not kids.
Wow.
Go out and watch all the porn you want. Who cares? Nobody make a clip of that.
Adults, please.
Adults.
Okay.
Okay. On that note, I don't have much else to offer about this movie. This movie is... I mean, would you recommend it to anyone?
Honestly, I don't know a single person that would ever watch this.
That's how I feel too. So, like I wouldn't want to watch this again. I would maybe show somebody clips on YouTube again if it was like the Raccoons and maybe a couple other moments. I would show some clips to somebody, but I wouldn't make someone sit through more than 5 minutes of it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if anybody knew I watched it, their jaw would be on the floor like the movie's description said it should be.
We're gonna do some fun movies, some bad movies that are fun at some point, Beat, and you'll kind of like, I think probably have a better understanding of sort of some of the things I'm talking about, because I've got some really great bad movies. I mean, really great, so fun to watch.
I mean, I hope so.
Yeah. They're pretty great. Okay. Well, do you have anything else before I say what the next movie is?
Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry this is such a short episode. It is what it is. So you win some, you lose some. This is probably, I think, the first movie in the history of this podcast where both people did not like the film. So that's why we have the short one. So our next movie is another holiday film. So far we've done Die Hard and Killer Raccoons 2, Dark Christmas in the Dark. And next up we have a movie that I believe Beat has never seen called The Shop Around the Corner. Buckle in, Beat. It's an oldie. And it is black and white, but it's very good, and it's a classic like Christmas kind of feel good kind of thing. So that'll be nice, and we're gonna have a special guest.
Oh yeah,
so that's pretty exciting as well. A very, very special guest. I'll tell you.
I'm excited now.
I'll tell you once we've stopped recording. They don't get to know until it happens. All right, everybody, thank you all for being here. Beat, thank you for taking the time to watch this travesty with me, and not making me be alone in it. So I know that
You're very welcome.
somebody shared my pain, so it makes me feel okay. All right, everybody. Until next week, bon cinema.